In Cairo, that great storehouse of ancient treasures, the museum, exhibits the relics of King Tutankhamun. This beautiful perfume vase of alabaster was one of the many precious objects entombed with the body of the king, whose coffin of solid gold reflects the genius of unknown craftsmen. Miniatures, perfect in every detail, were found alongside the coffin itself. Their significance is still unknown, as is much else about the boy king who reigned for 6 years and once sat on this throne of jeweled gold. From its 20th century resting place, the golden face mask of the young pharaoh looks back to an age of glory.
اسقط يا جماعه. لا استنى بقى. التعشيق علشان علقوا نفسك يا جماعه. علقوا نفسكم وانا هنزل يا استاذ علي. ماشي انزل. علقوا نفسكم. انزل انت يا بيه. علق. انزل انت وسيب لنا خالص. علق. استنى بقى عشان انا ايه؟ عشان تحت الراس ولا ممكن المسها؟ لا ممكن.
When I opened the sarcophagus for the first time, I looked at his face. I felt the magic and the mystery of King Tut.
My great-grandfather says to Howard Carter, "What do you see?" And Carter famously replies, "Just wonderful things." And he's looking back at this, in a way, perhaps theatre set of the ancient civilization 3,100 years ago. Everywhere, the glint of gold of those beautiful wooden objects. And that's just the start.
"2022 marks the 100th anniversary of the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, and also really for Tutankhamun being given back to the world, because he had become a very obscure pharaoh. So by celebrating him, we are giving his soul continued life. And also what's extraordinarily important is for Egypt, Tutankhamun is the only pharaoh who has sustained and looked after his country beyond his reign, because he has been the gift that keeps on giving. Ever since the discovery of his tomb, Tutankhamun has helped Egypt's economy and public persona and political goals a huge amount. So really, he is the one true pharaoh of Egypt who has been loyal to his country for several thousand years. There are questions about how often Tutankhamun's tomb had been robbed in antiquity, what happened to it after the discovery, and some scholars have recently questioned the fact that maybe, or suggested that maybe Tutankhamun's tomb has not been completely excavated, that perhaps behind the burial chamber lies a second chamber that has not been found yet, which might contain the body of another ruler, such as Nefertiti.
توت عنخ آمون هو أكثر اسم جذاب في عالم المصريات في العالم، ولكنه هو أكثر اسم غموضاً، وده اللي خلى العالم كله يحب القصة بتاعة المقبرة واكتشاف المقبرة، لأن بيها إثارة عائشة حتى الآن، حتى في القرن ال21، لأن لغاية دلوقتي لا يوجد البرديات الكافية والنصوص الكافية لمعرفة ما نعرفه عامة عن ملك من ملوك مصر. رجل حكم حوالي 9 سنوات، من هو عنده 8 سنين 9 سنين، مات 17 أو 18، ومع هذا ما نعرفش حاجات كتيرة عن حروبه، عن إنجازاته العسكرية زي ما بنعرف عن الملوك التانيين. فبالتالي خلى الدنيا كلها وما زالت تعيش في حالة من الغموض، رغم إن هي أشهر مقبرة وأكتر عدد من الآثار والمقتنيات الشخصية والجنائزية تكتشف في مقبرة واحدة من أصغر 3 مقابر في 64 مقبرة في وادي الملوك، ومع هذا نجد 5398 قطعة. مفيش واحدة ما تقدريش تقولي عليها إن هي مش قطعة متفردة ماستر بيس، ما تقدريش تقولي إنها قطعة مكررة في حتة تانية شفناها في مقبرة أخرى.
As ever, when a young 19-year-old dies, as was the case with Tutankhamun, there are going to be lots of ideas and questions as to how he died, what brought about his premature death. And there are several theories. Initially, there was one that someone had hit him on the head. That proved to be medically incorrect. There were theories that he fell from a chariot, that he was run over by a chariot, that he was kicked by a horse, that he suffered from malaria and grew weak and died, that there was too much interbreeding and so he grew weak and died. Also, there's a theory that a hippo attacked him and so he died. And there are many other medical ideas that have been put forward, but really, there is at this point not much proof for any of it.
أنا لا أستبعد كثيرا فكرة الاغتيال، وهذا لأنه أنا قد وجدت أن هناك ليجن أو هناك ندبة في الوجنة اليسرى للمومياء، وهي عبارة عن قشرة وندبة لم تكتمل التئامها هذا الجرح الكبير، فربما يكون قد ضرب بآلة حادة ما، وخصوصا ان احنا لغايه دلوقتي نحن في انتظار علماء المصريات يقولوا لنا هي الندبه دي جت منين والتعويره دي جت منين والقطعه دي جت منين، لانها كبيره وبالتالي من الممكن جدا ان يكون قد مات الملك وهي ما زالت في طور الالتئام. اذا السؤال يبقى، هل اغتيل توت عنخ آمون في هذا السن، وخصوصا في حساسيه الموقف السياسي في وقت حكمه؟ انا لا استبعد هذا ابدا.